Hi, this is Dan here. I hope you're doing really well today. In this short lesson, I'm going to give you 7 patterns that you can use over and over again on bass. I'm going to start on A, 5th fret of the E string. Some people call this the funk formula. We have a root, a 5th, a flat 7, and an octave. Now, I'm just playing this up and down even now, and it just sounds like a bass line. One cool thing you can do with this pattern, if you start on an A, like I'm doing here, go to the 5th fret of the A string, then the 7th fret of the A string. I'm not going to think too much about this, and I'm not going to explain too much. All I'm going to say is that if you play that pattern on the A, the D, and the E, it sounds great. And all I'm doing here is in my head I'm thinking, I'm just picking a rhythm. And I went root, 5, flat 7, 5, octave. I'm certainly not thinking about it when I'm playing it. And moving, same thing. Playing with a drum beat really helps. That's what I was doing in the intro. You can do that too. Let's move on. So another pattern that's always used on bass is a major pentatonic. And again, without explaining things too much, I'm in a sort of A Dorian tonality here. And so if you go to the C, so that's the 8th fret of the E string, you can use all of these patterns sort of in conjunction. This is called the major pentatonic scale. And in this particular pattern here, I love it because when you've got the first 3 notes on the same string, you can slide between the 2nd and the 3rd notes. You can also do hammer-ons. In this case, I'm on fret 10 to 12 on the E and the A. And there's the octave there. Notice how soul bass that sounds like. The root to the 5 and the 6, that really is what makes it sound like soul. So far we can actually use that first pattern on the A, 5th fret, move to the 8th fret and use this major pentatonic pattern. There's no tab for this lesson. I'm making this up on the spot, and that's what I want you to do as well. I want you to understand that the bass is a brilliant instrument for patterns. And it would help definitely to learn the intervals that we have going on as well. But, you know, don't worry too much about it. If you just want to know that start on the 5th fret, that sounds cool. Go to the 8th fret, that sounds cool. You know, for now, that'll do. Okay, let's do another pattern. If you go to the 3rd fret, that's G. And that's what I did. Now here, we've got a G7 chord. I've got the root, the major 3rd, and the flat 7th. If you play them together, you get a chord. That's 3 or more notes played together at the same time. If you get rid of the first note and just play, you get what's called a double stop. It's just 2 notes played together at the same time. And that's used quite a lot in bass. There's a really great double stop played by Chuck Rainey on Peg. There's another one in Rock With You. There's loads of cool, and Tony Levin uses double stops all the time. So all I'm doing here is just playing a G. It's like the pattern there, it's a little bit too muddy, so I'm playing up the octave. I'm doing a little slide into that. And then I'm playing both the notes together. So that's another pattern. By the way, there are millions of patterns on bass, but I'm just showing you for this lesson 7. Here's a great pattern that you can use on almost all chords. I'm going to play the A on the 7th fret of the D string to illustrate this. That's our root. Go 2 frets higher, 1 string higher. We get a 5th. You can put that note down the octave, and then you can go up to a fifth or down to a fifth. You know, it's used in Latin music, it's used in country, it's used a lot. So if we were to combine it with the shapes we've used so far, there's a root 5 in the major pentatonic, and there's a root 5 within the first pattern actually as well. They're everywhere. You can literally use that pattern on nearly every chord, just not anything with a flat 5 or an augmented 5, just anything with a normal fifth, which is what you hear most of the time, you can use it. Now a really simple one, so simple it's easy to overlook, an octave pattern. So on the A, just go 2 frets higher, 2 strings higher that way down towards the floor, it gets higher in pitch. And that's an octave, so we can go to all the notes we've used so far. So the A, the C, and the G playing octaves. I'm doing a little slide from the G to the A there, followed by the octave. So index finger, middle, absolutely ready to play the D string. Little ghost note, add a little bit of funk in there. Then, as I mentioned before, I'm focusing this little sort of what I'm doing in this lesson around a Dorian, A Dorian. It's a scale, it's a mode, it's one that's used in funk bass a lot. And this is the last pattern I'm going to show you. So root, flat third, it's just notes coming from that scale, flat 7, and major 6th. All of those notes just sound so good. Up the octave, same thing. Let's stay here actually, and let's try and combine a few other patterns. There's that root 5, flat 7 octave. Octaves. Root 5. Now this is a minor mode, so I can't use the major pentatonic over this. I did forget one pattern actually, and this is something you hear a lot again in soul. I'll do it on the C. It's where you walk up from a major third to a fifth. So I've got the C on the 8th fret, the E is the major third, the G is the 5th. You just play those 2 notes that are in between. Okay, you walk up chromatically. Jacko-esque. I suppose you could walk up from a minor third to a 5th as well. But it's a lot more common. I'm just going from the C and then now to the F. Patterns are just intervals, and these ones I've shown you today, they are really common in bass playing, and there are millions more actually. I nearly did 20 patterns, but I just wanted to keep the lesson a little bit more sort of succinct. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, I've got a new course from beginner to bassist. I'll put a link to it. It goes through loads of stuff like this and a lot of other things as well. But if you do have any questions about any of these patterns, just put a comment below and I'll get back to you. Thanks for watching. See you next time.